Welcome to Lead Different.
How can creativity become a powerful tool for leadership, connection, and community impact? Welcome to Lead Different. Today on the podcast, we're joined by Cameron Ward, founder and creative director of Art Off the Rails, culture producer, podcast host, and champion for Indigenous and emerging voices. Cam works at the intersection of art, media, storytelling, and economic development, creating platforms that bring people, ideas, and communities together. In this conversation, we explore what it takes to turn creative vision into meaningful impact, build trust through consistency, empower emerging leaders, and create opportunities that extend far beyond yourself. Cam's journey reminds us that leadership isn't always about having a title. It's about creating space for others to be seen, heard, and empowered. Subscribe and join us as we discover what it means to lead different with Cameron Ward. Let's dive in.
Why not leadership? Why not lead different?
Welcome to Lead Different, the podcast that redefines leadership and challenges the status quo. Hosted by Daniel Dominguez, founder and CEO of Why Not Leadership. This show is your compass to becoming a better leader through the power of self-awareness. Good leaders foster teams that are engaged, empowered, and energized. Join us on this transformative journey as we equip you with the tools and insights to lead different. Get ready to challenge the ordinary and embrace self-aware leadership. This is Lead Different.
Subscribe now. Discover a new era of leadership. Lead different, because great leaders change the world.
Welcome to the show, Cameron. How are you doing today?
I'm doing just fine. It's cloudy. It rains this morning.
Right. How rare for Albuquerque to get morning rain in the middle of the summer, right?
Yes, and hopefully more frequently now.
Yeah. I was at Mass yesterday, and the pastor during the sermon, he said, during the prayers at the end, he said, let's pray for rain for the places that need rain, and then for it to stop raining in the places that are flooding. It's always that way, right? There's places in our country that are flooding right now and having tremendous issues with rain.
Yeah. And
here we are in the desert praying for more rain.
That's true. I mean, that's a good prayer.
Yeah. I think it's the parallel, because anything that's good can taken to an extreme can be bad, right? We know of the Great Flood and those types of things. Cameron, it's been a few weeks since we met, and I couldn't wait to talk to you.
I even almost want to say, like, how are you doing, Dan? Like, what's changed?
Oh my gosh. We have been so busy, Cameron. We've given 1, 2, 3 keynotes and a couple of workshops that we've done with a couple of big organizations. Nice. We've been working with some CEOs. We just got contracted by the 150th Special Operations Wing of the Air National Guard to work with all of their colonels and senior enlisted. So we're very busy, and
you get exclusive access to some cool buildings, I'm sure.
Oh my gosh. Yeah. They train. So this unit, Cameron, I'll tell you a little bit about it real quick, because we want to hear about you, but they train all the pilots of the HC-130J, which is the airplane that drops off rescue operation. So the Air Force rescue operators. So for example, when we had those pilots that went down in Iran, these are the airplanes that dropped off the rescue teams to rescue our pilots. And so they're a very specialized unit, and we're just proud to be able to work with them and help them become even better leaders. But today's show's about you, and we want to hear more about what you're up to, Cameron. I know one of your big projects is Art Off the Rails. We want to hear about Art Off the Rails and any other projects you have going on. But let's start by introducing you. We read an introduction at the beginning, but I would love for you to just kind of give us your background, where you're from. You're a young person, so you're recently graduated from college, but you're doing so much that I know a lot of people a lot older than you that have not done near as much as you're doing. So I'd love for you to just give our audience a little bit of your background.
Okay, cool. Well, grew up originally 7 minutes from Sleta Pueblo, which is Los Lunas. Family eventually moved to Albuquerque, but my mom's side of the family is from Sleta Pueblo. My dad, he's from what I've been told is I'm half Austrian,
Mm-hmm.
but he was Raton to Gallup to Grants and then finally Albuquerque and Las Cruces. And so, but if we're directing it more towards like where I grew up, it was Los Lunas to Sleta, but during the days I was traveling back and forth for school in Albuquerque. And it was like a 45-minute drive. So grew up in Albuquerque. And then when I finally turned 18, I moved to Albuquerque. And a lot of the back and forth, it was just like, I'm ready to just be closer to the city.
Yeah. Yeah.
And so I am considered like an urban native.
Right.
But of course, my whole mom's side of the family is still in Isleta. So I try to still be grounded and sometimes make it on a farm, go visit my grandmothers, my whole family, be a part of like still all my family who is still on the reservation. So
Yeah, and it's beautiful there. I live only I probably live about 3 miles north of the Pueblo.
Okay,
in the
South
South
Valley.
Valley, right alongside the river. So if you go, you cross the interstate and you
Yep.
drive a couple miles, and my house is right there.
Do you currently have water in your Rio Grande?
No, do you
No.
guys? No, we don't
Yeah.
have any water.
We have water in Isleta.
Yeah, no, we have no water. Our irrigation has been dry for, gosh, it's been at least 2 months since we were able to water.
Wow. Yeah. I know it's been a huge issue for even some family who has farmland.
Yeah. Well, one of the things that is very interesting about what you do is you're a cultural producer. You're a podcast host, but you're dedicated to amplifying Indigenous and emerging voices in the American Southwest. So what does that mean?
Yeah. Well, I feel like a lot of my projects that I've built on in the past have come in like perfect timings.
Yeah.
It's always, of course, lots of outreach and meeting people or references,
Right.
or referrals, I should say, not references. And so the podcast, I was first started off as like the marketing strategist for a Leaders of Enchantment podcast.
Okay.
Eventually was passed down for me to be the host. And I was like, heck yeah, I'll do it. More experience, maybe a little more exposure. And that's when I started my business, Art Off the Rails. So it was perfect timing. It was just the client I needed to kind of build my capital, and then as well as like building exposure, not for myself, but like meeting others who were in different businesses, different fields, to kind of become friends.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, and who is it that you feature on your podcast? Tell us a little bit about the podcast.
Yeah, so
The Leaders of Enchantment.
We're originally hosted and founded by Doug Campbell.
Okay.
He brought in like athletes, bikers, like cyclists, professional
Right.
cyclists,
Yeah.
investors. We had the CEO of Nusenda, Michelle. We had her on. We've had the co-founders of Meow Wolf together. And so just all around entrepreneurs, business owners, business professionals, investors. And I even just bringing in new people of artists, fashion designers, painters, music and film producers. And so trying to get New Mexico is so full with culture and so much different professionals, so many different ways and avenues you could go in. So trying to make it like we're not just medical fields out here. At least that's what I hear from, my friends. They're like, so big medical fields.
Right.
Yeah.
What is it that made you, you're a local graduate of St. Pius High School,
Yep.
and you went to just this little known college in California called USC, that great school, great education. First of all, what made you want to come back to New Mexico? Because one of the things New Mexico struggles with is keeping our talent. We get amazing kids who
Mhm.
do great in high school, and then they go off to college, and then California grabs them, and they want to stay there, or Chicago grabs them,
Right.
or
Right.
Orlando grabs them. What drew you back to New Mexico?
Yeah. Well, I gotta say, I was a graduate for my undergrad at UNM.
Okay.
University of New Mexico. I finished my bachelor's here. And then I continued schooling for my master's at USC in Southern
Excellent.
California. So it was
So
only
you're a
2 years.
Lobo.
So I am a Lobo, yes. I am a proud, I still go to like the UNM alumni. I would say I'm not a board member, but I like to go to their events.
Yeah.
And so when I first originally, I was like, I'm going to go because all of my school has been online, but I wanted to go for my last semester to at least get a feel for something outside of New Mexico. And it was perfect timing. It was like, a new transition and new chapter. And I was still working New Mexico projects while I was going to school full time. And so I was juggling I was juggling a full-time job, a corporate job here in Albuquerque, and the podcast of Leaders of Enchantment in California.
Wow.
So it was always like, I'm here at school, but actually I have to come back for a couple days because I have an event in Albuquerque. So it was a lot of back and forth. And when I was told to be the host, that's when I was probably like maybe a couple ways from graduation. And I was like, oh my God, like this is a huge opportunity. I can't say no because it's already in my lap. And so I was like, we'll just, go day by day. We'll come back. We'll move back. My family's here. I have like some property here, and like we'll just make it work. And then, if things don't work, we'll go back to LA. But always leaving myself options.
Yeah.
And it was nice. I gotta say, I do like LA, but I was catching myself leaving LA on the weekends and traveling outside of the big city and going to smaller towns. So I almost do like a little more relaxed environments.
Yeah. Well, you grew up in a small town, Los Lunas. Did you ever spend time on the reservation at Isleta? Because that's a really small community.
I mean, of course, I still spend time in Isleta. My grandmother is still there. My cousins still live on the reservation, and some are still moving back to Isleta. So,
and it's such a different pace of life, right?
Yeah, I mean, I could see a lot from like my uncle. He's a farmer and he owns Padilla Hay and Gardens.
Oh yeah.
And then my cousin, they own like Lizard Flats, which is they make Indian tacos and like have all the good food. They're so dedicated to helping their community and helping for their jobs. I mean, that's the same as in Albuquerque, and maybe that too is just like our family. We're just so passionate. And so, I mean, it's maybe like 20 minutes from Albuquerque, I like to say, but then it's like 30 minutes sometimes, but.
Right. Depending on the traffic, right? Depending if anybody has an accident between Isleta, the on-ramp there and the Sunport. So it can take some time. So Cameron, tell us what the mission is. What's your vision? Because you're involved in so much. You have a great podcast. You have leaders on Leaders of Enchantment. Great podcast where you're making so many connections. But what's your vision for your business, your venture, Art Off the Rails?
Yes. So Art Off the Rails is known as a marketing and curation company to help small artists, big artists, small businesses, whether that's in fashion, music, film, galleries, curating galleries. I originally started Art Off the Rails right when I started my master's at USC.
Okay.
Because we had to build a product or a service and then present it at the end of our master's. And so I was like, Art Off the Rails. And it originally came from an article piece I did in 2023 for a magazine. And it kind of just stuck with me. I always liked the title, and Art Off the Rails can mean multiple things of many different departments. So we're working it up. Currently right now I have 4 clients, and that are podcast, magazine, editorial, as well as like film and music production and event coordinating.
Okay.
And, from what I've done in the past is gallery curation, and I enjoy it. I mean, that's the event coordinating side. So, yeah.
Event coordinating sounds like such a hard job. I know, because I participate in events and I watch the people that coordinate, and I'm just the speaker, right? I just show up with my PowerPoint and my microphone, and I do my talk, but there's so much that goes into it.
So much. I'm impressed by people who can do even like big venues with tons and thousands of people. Like, I mean, it requires a team.
Right.
It really does. And as long as you guys know how to work together, know how to communicate with each other, and consistent communication, that is what I'm learning. I need to still continue to work on, but consistent communication with your team will take you a long way.
Well, speaking of that, Cameron, you and I met because Hannah Taylor Noren introduced us. She told me she's your neighbor.
Yeah.
She's someone that I met through my work. And she said, you were dealing with an issue because you were trying to bring a group of young people together. And Hannah ended up facilitating a workshop for you. But even there, what you're talking about, you like building teams that are cohesive and work together well. And I have to bring this up for those of you who watch the show often, that most of our guests take the YOS Discovery, and we talk about the results on the show. And Cameron came in, we had a session where we went over her results. And her why is to contribute. So she is driven to make a difference, to help others. And that shines in the mission of Art Off the Rails, and the mission that you have for everything that you do. And then even in how you were trying to, these were summer interns, but you were trying to make a big, long time impact for them. Your hows makes sense. So you're a problem solver, which I think is a skill that you absolutely have to have as someone who curates events, galleries and art. There's so many moving parts, I'm sure, that you take care of.
Oh yeah, totally. I've been kind of saying, and it's kind of like the cycle of life now, where I'm saying like these clients or these little tasks are like my kids, and I love them like my kids. But when it comes to like this current project I'm working with, I'm actually working with kids. And it's so funny. I was like, I've been saying this the whole time, and now I'm working with kids. Never done it before. So it's been a huge learning experience, and just learning new ways, keeping that consistent communication while also getting them to, break out of their shells. They are teens. So I didn't realize how hard it was going to be of teens who are 16 to 18 to talk with other kids their age.
Right. And it, It's interesting you say that because it's been a long time since I was a teenager, but not for you. It's been probably less than a decade.
It's been
since you
8
were a
years.
teenager. Yeah. So, how hard is it for you to kind of identify with that next generation and the things that they're dealing with versus the things you might have been dealing with 8, 10 years ago?
Things I've identified that are.
Yeah. Well, is it hard for you to identify with their issues versus what you dealt with when you were a teenager?
Oh, I see. Well, I feel like I've always been a social butterfly.
Yeah.
But maybe it became more prevalent when I got into college. I was able to like break out of the Catholic church system, which I was in Catholic church for 12 Catholic church. I'm sorry,
Catholic school.
Catholic
Yeah.
school for 12 years. So like being able to kind of get into a new whole environment in
Right.
college, it kind of did break me out. Whereas these interns, this is their first job ever. And I'm
Right.
their first boss ever. And like, I remember having my first job and I was working with elders at Sleda Elder Center.
Mm-hmm.
And I had to talk. And there
Right.
wasn't really any other kids that were my age, but it's like breaking the barrier of I'm not their teacher,
Right.
I'm their boss, but also like I can be a colleague. Like
Right.
we can put our insights, we could bring in conversations, and that's too why I connected with Hannah. Hannah's worked with like I believe Bunkhouse Studios, my neighbor, on how to get teams to interact with each
Right.
other. And yep, that's why I took the test in a sense too. So
Yeah. So you're a person who wants to contribute, wants to make sense of things, and you want to build trust. So trust is
yep,
important to you also. And how did that resonate with you? How important is trust to you?
definitely. I mean, that's keeping consistent.
Mm-hmm.
You build trust by consistency. And
Right.
that too is also a big topic when talking social media or marketing.
Right.
And just putting yourself out there, even, and that too, I'm a goofy person. I try to be a goofy person, and especially with new like interns, I'm trying to like show that work can be fun and you can be
Right.
goofy too sometimes, but like that opening yourself up can build trust.
Yeah.
Just gotta open yourself up a little more.
So how has it been going with those teenagers? I think you still have them, right?
Yeah, I have them for 2 more weeks.
Right. So how
And
has it gone this summer? You mentioned Hannah came in and facilitated something for you and kind of made a breakthrough for some of the kids.
yeah, so a little background for anyone who is listening. Why do I have these interns? And
Yeah,
how
tell
many
us
do
about it.
I have a client of mine. It's the business is called Salad Bowl America. We're building a magazine that will be dropping August 15th, 2026.
Excellent.
It's all about New Mexico culture. And this would not been possible too because we have 16 interns who applied through Nexus News Space here in Albuquerque to have a summer internship. So they're all paid interns through Nexus.
Excellent.
And they just come and they like spread these kids out from across New Mexico to different businesses who need extra help.
Right.
And so,
and how many did you get?
oh my goodness, it kept growing. And we were like, what? More kids? 4 more kids? Like they couldn't have come earlier.
Right.
But like a total of 16.
Wow. So you're running like a summer camp for teenagers,
No.
really?
No summer camp.
No,
We can't
you're
let
working?
that- Yeah, no, it's not summer camp. This is not daycare. We're trying to show them that this is not even summer school.
Yeah.
You are now adults. You're going to be adults. And you're young adults. You're not
Right.
kids in this workshop sort of thing.
So we're going to stop calling them kids on the podcast. In case you're listening, guys, you are now young adults.
Which is something I struggled with at the very beginning. But
Sure.
my boss client, Brian, he was like, you got to stop calling them that. Like, they're already building, and they're going to be graduating soon. They're already building to be young adults. You need to treat them like it, and know that, like, we're not just paying, they're not just getting paid for free work. So it ended up, it was hard. It was definitely something I was doing on top of also building this magazine.
Right.
And so it's like managing, which I've managed contractors to help with different projects, 2 max, but then 16 all at once.
Yeah.
And young adults, I was going to say, I was
Right.
it was truly like, it was like a cycle of life, like I said. But today I learned, after doing the test, as well as doing a workshop with the interns, was we got to delegate. And in order to work together, I can't force them to do something they don't like and expect a good result.
Right.
So it was a lot of, okay, who likes to write? Who likes social media? Who wants to talk to people?
Mm-hmm.
And made our own departments.
Yes, excellent.
And so that was able to, like, them to break out their shells, being like, oh, okay, this is not school. I don't actually, well, yes, they have to do the work, but like,
you're not getting graded. You're going to get paid.
You're not getting, And
I think you did a great job. One of the things we talk about, one of the reasons we do self-assessments and help people understand themselves better is because you're going to do better when you're doing stuff you like to do, right?
Yep.
There's stuff that I'm sure, Cameron, that you could do all day long and you wouldn't care if you were getting paid. And then there's stuff that you would not do for $1 million, right? And if you put somebody in a role where they're doing stuff that they would much rather be getting heart surgery than doing that, then they're not going to do a great job of it. You hit it. You hit it on the head. We believe in spending 80% of your time doing stuff you love to do that you're good at. And what a great way to do that. Just asking the question.
Makes us happy, and then makes it easier to work with one another. Because once you're happy inside, you can be happy outside.
Right. And I think I interviewed Jeff Scheffelbein. He owns quite a few companies, but one of the things he talked about is, a lot of people confuse make that your employees need to be happy. And he said, no, they don't. They need to be fulfilled. They need to be doing work that matters. Right?
So
it's not about the bean bags and the pool table and the foosball tables and pizza parties. It's about, hey, am I doing work that matters using my talents? Because that will make you happy. Do you agree?
I hear it all the time. And I mean, I can't say like I've been doing Art Off the Rails full time for so long, because I've even too worked in jobs where I had to. I mean, it's expensive and it's hard to build a business when you don't get any other income. So I had to like consistently. Art Off the Rails was a side gig for like 3 years. And then even on top of before Art Off the Rails, I was doing projects that were side gigs on top of corporate business. And so, I mean, hearing too with like other colleagues, other friends that I meet, it's like I want to find something that I feel more fulfilled in, almost like I'm doing something for myself and for others, but not for a company that like cuts me off so short.
Right.
So
and I think you probably, just based on what I've heard, what I know of you, Cameron, you probably make a fabulous founder and CEO and creator and probably a lousy employee.
And
Only
a lousy
because
employee.
yeah,
Me?
because you're so creative. You want to do things your own way. You're probably so
Oh,
much
yeah.
better when you're in charge than when you're not.
No, I could see that. But if it's not related to art or
Yeah.
something in the creative field, because yes, I worked for the government for like
Right.
4 years, 3 years. And even when I was working at the government, I had Art Off the Rails as a side gig.
Right.
And my mind was always focused on something else, trying to get out of it,
Right.
trying to apply somewhere else. And but at the same time, it is what it is. And I did it for so long just to sustain myself, to build Art Off the Rails.
Right. So who's your ideal client? Who do you love to work with at Art Off the Rails, Cam?
I feel like I have an ideal client right now, and
Yeah.
it's Salad Bowl America magazine. I'm taking charge. We're meeting deadlines. We're staying consistent. And we're doing events, and we're working with like the community. And, in fact, we're doing a 3-day event coming in August.
Okay.
Back
Tell
to
us
back,
about it.
like 3 in a row. It's August 14th, which is a Humankind Day gala. It's like a dinner, dress up, have fun. There'll be a DJ, some speeches, and then the 15th.
Where is that event going to take place?
That one is on Coors. It's a venue.
Okay.
I would have to send you the more information on where that.
All right. If you want us to talk about it, well, actually, your episode won't air till August 28th, so it'll be after the event. But if you send me information, we can share it with our our social media audience for sure.
And then the 15th, that's the magazine release, focused on highlighting the interns, highlighting the photographers, the writers, the editors, as well as it's at Winrock. Rock is popping off in Albuquerque, so we're trying to still highlight that. Yeah,
they've added that beautiful park right next to it.
Yeah. And then the 16th, we're bringing Art Battle to New Mexico, which is a business that's already been traveling across the United States, bringing like 12 artists, putting music, putting people together, and just like make it in a fun environment, and then choosing a winner at the end of the night. So
what's an art battle? Tell us a little bit about that for those that have never been to an art battle.
That was a quick little summary.
Yeah.
It's actually run by somebody out of New Mexico. Okay. And we're in collaboration with them to essentially just have the same environment of bringing 12 random artists together.
Okay.
From across New Mexico. We're pitching it out to people. We're telling people to apply. And then music is happening. People are surrounding them, talking, networking, while they're in 20 minutes of painting a beautiful canvas.
Okay, so it's actual painting artists, right?
Yes,
so it's not performing artists. It's
thank you.
So it's art battles, and they have 20 minutes to create a piece.
And then one winner will get a $300 prize, and then we'll all celebrate together.
Wow. And where will that take place?
This one is also taking place at the same place on the 14th.
Okay, the venue on Coors?
The venue on Coors, and my goodness, my clients could be so mad. But my main focus has been primarily to get this magazine out the door.
Absolutely. So that premieres the 15th.
That premieres the 15th. And at least I know that date.
Yeah. And tell us about Salad Bowl America, because I read a little bit about it, read a little bit about the founder. Tell us about the founder, what he's doing. I've seen him at events in Rio Rancho and Albuquerque. He's been in Santa Fe. He's been all over New Mexico, and I'm sure he's been all over the United States. But tell us about what Salad Bowl America does, and then how you became involved with this project with your 16 young adults.
Okay. So Salad Bowl America is a nonprofit foundation and also soon to be a wine club in downtown Albuquerque.
Okay.
That's going to be called Poor Decisions. That is going to be opening mid-August, in the fall of 2026, and that'll be great. But
Now, that's
Salad Bowl
less than a month
America-
away.
Yeah, it's tomorrow. No, I'm just
Yeah,
kidding.
it'll be here before we know it. Yeah.
But Salad Bowl America is mostly to represent how many cultures there are across America.
Okay.
How many different ways we can work with one another, like a melting pot, from music to business to film, culture. I mean, everything you
Right.
could think of, we wanted to represent that through the magazine by
Okay.
representing New Mexico, showing what's currently going on in our drought, but also to represent people in Santa Fe. We have articles from Las Cruces. We have some in Grants and Albuquerque, of course. But
Right.
Salad Bowl America is to also, show how even though we're from New Mexico, we may have the same culture, but someone in South Dakota, even though they're native, they might have a different culture. And so that is the goal with Salad Bowl America magazine, is that the goal is to take it national. We want to show the representation from New Mexico in Alaska or vice versa. And so,
Okay.
yeah.
And tell us about you,
How did
the
we
creative director. Tell us about how
Brian.
you met Brian. Yeah.
Yes. Well, like I said, everything happens for a reason, perfect timing. Everything can kind of really fall into place. And that's how this situation happened. Brian is originally from North Carolina, and he had been traveling to Las Vegas and then came down to New Mexico because he had some friends here. And I met Brian Johnson at a Kentucky Derby at Windrock in Albuquerque. And
Okay.
it was run by, I can't remember. I don't want to, never mind. I was going to say it was run by some business, but now I can't remember.
I can't remember the name of the business, so we're not going to.
We
don't
won't
wanna
say
bullshit
that.
it. Yeah.
And I was just there, and it was networking. There was gambling. There was like, pick your favorite outfit of the day, someone who showed up in the audience. And I just randomly met Bryant, and we started talking about like what we do in the community. And he was saying, "Oh my God, you might be the perfect girl I'm looking for, because I am trying to put a magazine together and have it done by August. And also I have interns." And so I was like, ding, ding, ding. Okay. I'm liking this. So that was Saturday. I texted him Sunday. We met up on Monday. And since May, I think it was just, okay, I'm going to jump on this. It sounds like a good opportunity. Of course, this Bryant had only been in New Mexico for 2 years, but I did my research, and it's been great ever since. And just working as a team. Brian has his team too, and just trying to work all together to get this deadline. Fast deadline. Never done this before.
And I really like the concept of just representing all the different cultures across America. Instead of a melting pot, he's calling it a salad bowl, where we're mixing, instead of melting all together, we're just mixing the different ingredients. So has he explained to you the difference between a melting pot? Why did he want to call it salad bowl versus melting pot? Because everybody uses melting pot, but obviously that was already taken. So, and I like the concept of salad bowl. How does he explain it?
I know that could have been the reasoning of like, maybe melting pot was taken. But this has consistently been his brand before I even jumped in. And I know even too, he did a couple of years ago, the Lowrider Convention event at the convention center. and he was known as Salad Bowl America magazine, or not magazine, but like Salad Bowl America. And
Right.
so
That's his Instagram handle, right?
That's his Instagram handle. It's our magazine handle, and just keeping consistent. And it's taken us a long way. And in August, we're dropping this magazine is 140 pages, and we did it all in 2 months. But of course, the interns have been a huge help.
Yeah. Is it ready? Or are you guys still putting finishing touches on it?
It's so funny. Today is actually our deadline to
wow.
send it to the printers.
And so we're gonna be very thankful that you're talking to us, because I'm sure there are a million things you want to make sure happen today. So thank you for spending time with us on a very important day, almost as important as August 15th, right?
Right. Exactly. Sorry. No, go ahead.
No. I was gonna ask, how will you distribute the magazine? How will the magazine be distributed?
Yes. Well, we're already in planning in partnerships with Santa Ana, getting them in their casinos, getting them on more coffee tables locally, as well as like other casinos, hotels, trying to, knock on wood, even make it out of New Mexico. Mm-hmm. Bryant has traveled all across New Mexico, and, he already has the connections in like 8 different flagships, which was originally the idea of not only after New Mexico are we going to keep publishing, but doing 8 different flagship states. Okay. So
is one of them his home state? What makes a guy from North Carolina end up in New Mexico? Right. I know why I would be here from North Carolina, because I was stationed there when I was in the military.
What do you mean? So. Yeah. Why would it?
What drew him? Because I was from here, so I wanted to come back. What drew him to New Mexico?
That's a great question. I think, I know he has a son here who went to NMSU. And so that could be a reason, but maybe we need to bring him on, because Brian's a big talker too.
Yeah, would love to have him on. Introduce us. I'd love to meet Brian, and love his project. I love what he's doing, and I love what you're doing. Tell us a little bit more, Cameron. So there's so many things you're involved with. Yes. Art Off the Rails, Salad Bowl America, the podcast. What is it that you're currently working on that has you most excited, other than your big project with Salad Bowl America?
Yes. Well, there's 2 big projects, and now it's really just like finding the time to do it. But because I don't want to limit Art Off the Rails to so many opportunities, I'm also having open doors to people who are interested in working with Art Off the Rails. Mm-hmm. And one of the projects is set design. And that includes, whether that's window display artwork, not artwork, but like set design, sets.
Right.
As well as, hopefully, I'm working on, I recently just hired a cousin, which my cousin is my homie. He's so talented, just graduated from high school. And he is so hungry to get set design in his back pocket. Mm-hmm. And so currently trying to work with the city of Albuquerque to build an art installation downtown.
Okay.
So knock on wood on that. Can't expose it too much, or jinx it. I'm kind of super, what is the word? I don't want to jinx it.
Yeah, no, I always say that I'm not superstitious because it's bad luck.
Superstitious. There you go. Yes. I have good faith. It's going to be good. But, and then another one is a local business that's popping up to kind of give a hint. It's coming back after a decade, and they're in collaboration with a brewery, and it's opening up very, very soon, and we're expected to build a selfie room. And so it's like an art installation in itself, a set design. And
that is really cool. Can you tell us who the brewery is? I just worked. I just signed yesterday a deal with one of the local breweries to work with their leadership team, and so I'd be interested if it's the same one. But if you can't say it, maybe we can talk off
Well,
the
maybe
air.
we could. Yeah, maybe we could talk about it off the air. But, and with Art Off the Rails, of course, there's many different departments I want to open it up to, and I wish I could do it, but because my main focus is the magazine or the podcast. I'm trying to open up the door to more economic development in New Mexico, but also out of New Mexico. And so my cousin Tino, he's going to be hopping on those projects, and knock on wood, it all works out great.
Yeah. Now, is he going to school at the same time? Recent high school grad?
Yes, he's a high school grad from Las Lunas. But currently he is trying to see what he likes before, and trying to get him connected with Albuquerque, because
excellent.
Why leave? I mean, your resources are here. It's probably more affordable.
Right.
Just focus on main things and trying to be a good, resource, and just, say that New Mexico is here.
I love that. So Cam, tell us a little bit about, you mentioned you went to Catholic school for 12 years. So tell us your journey. For those that are local, I'm sure they're going to want to know what elementary and middle school did you go to? And then you went to St. Pius for high school.
Yes.
And tell us about your journey there.
I was a St. Mary's downtown kid.
Fantastic.
And from there, everybody was kind of just migrating to St. Pius, or they were going to, maybe a couple were going to public school, maybe a couple were going to like Sandia or Academy.
Right.
But a lot of my friends went to St. Pius, and I'm glad I went there. I mean, it was fun to have my friends instead of like meeting whole new people. Who knows what it would have been like if I maybe went to Sandia, which was one of my schools I wanted to go to, Sandia Prep. But
okay.
I could say the most easiest part was having uniforms.
Yeah.
Uniforms for days, got up, dressed, same thing, and then left. Hardest part was maybe the transportation. I took the bus a couple times.
You have to get up like way early to take the bus, I'm sure.
Way early. I don't get up half that time anymore.
Yeah.
But I grew up Catholic. My family from Isleta is all Catholic. And once I got out of high school, I kind of had to find my own path. I was always influenced for 12 years. It was time to have like my own thought and my own ways of life. And I mean, I can't say I've been a perfect Catholic, but I can say I'm a perfect Catholic now. I mean, I go to Calvary, which is not Catholic. And it's interesting to tell them about my Catholic experience and how I don't dismiss it. I still am. I could be I could believe in anything, and I'm still listening at the end of the day, still learning.
Right. So there's love that church at Isleta. It's been around forever. St. Augustine, right?
St. Augustine. Yes.
St. Augustine. Yeah. And it's just such a beautiful church. I remember one time, I think, because I like to go to daily mass. And so I remember I was running late, and then I found that they had an afternoon service. And so I went there, I think it was like 4:30, and I walked in, and it's like walking into history. The building has been, and then you see the plaques, and it is literally a historic site that's been around for hundreds of years. And so
I don't know. I got to do some background research. I know it was burnt down, or like half of it was burnt down.
Right, and then it was rebuilt. Yeah. Yeah. Because my great grandmother's birth certificate was in the church when it burned down. Yeah. Yeah,
that's how I know.
So it was established in 1613. So we're talking over 400 years old.
Dang, did you just do that research now?
Yeah, well, I remember seeing the plaque there,
Okay.
and then I looked it up, and it's so it's a church that's over 400 years old. You being an artist, you got it, and then the artwork in that church. So you being an artist, there's some amazing artwork in that church that's probably been around longer than our country has been a country. When you look at something that was established in 1613, we just had our
Right. We were
150th
here.
anniversary.
Yeah, all our native relatives were here first, and I truly believe that it should be known.
Yeah, absolutely. You know, we became a country 250 years ago, and then we joined that country only less than, just a little over 100 years ago as a state. But there's so much history that was here way before we were a state and before even the Spaniards came, right? There's so much old
Exactly.
history. How much of that do you incorporate into the work that you do as an artist, bringing Indigenous art to the world?
Well, that's really interesting because we were trying to get an article out for the magazine
Yeah.
about the history. And it's not something that should be dismissed that, natives were here and then the Spaniards came. But also, outside of the magazine, I tried to bring in more Indigenous artists. I just finished my first 2-month exhibition with the city of Albuquerque. It was called Native Voices. So it circled around everything like fashion, film. We did like a short film documentary with the Albuquerque Museum on MMIW, but also artists of painters, sculptures, photography was in this exhibition. So keeping consistent, still trying to share some highlight on our relatives and our friends and family, and keep the doors open. I mean, Art Off the Rails is not a one and only demographic. This is, multiple different departments. There's so many artists here that do so many things that we can all collaborate. We can all work together. We could build our visions and put them from pen and paper to straight in the streets. Like, let's bring it out. So I'm trying to incorporate everyone, really.
Yeah, you mentioned earlier your experience, to exploring other ways to worship than what you'd been brought up, and you grew up with it, and you're now experiencing a different way to experience your Christian faith, and at a different church. What role does your faith play in the work that you do every day? You mentioned earlier, you said you got to have faith.
Yeah.
So I know that that's an important part of you, but tell us about that.
Well, I believe in higher power. Definitely God is out there. I also do believe in Mother Nature and the universe all working together as a team. But I think of it as like my yoga at the end of the day. Every Sunday, I meet with the Calvary Church, the youth, young adults. So they're kids. I'm a kid still. I mean,
right.
Young adults my age, and talking and feeling passion outside of our lives, if that makes sense. And it's very therapeutic. I feel like I kind of can take away advice and put it into my personal life, as well as put it into work on the ways I communicate. I mean, it's like taking a test from you.
Yeah.
But like every Sunday going and learning.
Right.
And
Yeah, I just finished our newsletter for the month of July, and you'll get it because you're on our mailing list now. But I was talking about that, there's a way we were designed. And that's what self-awareness is really about. And for you as a leader of so many people and so many projects, and having an impact on so many communities and so many different people that are in your sphere of influence, I talked about the fact that, there's a way that we were designed, and it's like you said earlier, things happen for a reason. We were designed the way we were designed And there's a way for us to live, there's a way for us to work, and there's a way for us to do things that's going to maximize the gifts that we were given, the way we were
Oh,
specifically designed, right?
Yep.
And I think it's at that never-ending search for, okay, what am I meant to do?
What is
the
our
one
purpose?
thing? Yes.
Yeah,
What is the one thing that I'm going to do better than anyone else, and that it's going to make the biggest difference in the world? Right. And it sounds to me like for you, it's going to be in art and creating and coordinating and connecting. And you seem like such a great connector. Where do you see yourself, and where do you see Art Off the Rails? Like, give me the if everything goes well, it's 5 years from now, and you and I are meeting up for a cup of coffee, so you can tell me, hey, Dan, let me tell you what's happened in the last 5 years. So what's that 5-year outlook look like?
Yeah. Well, definitely opening the door in many departments. One thing I'm working on right now is building a virtual gallery, like almost like a 3D tour. It's its own platform where artists can be a part of it, as well as galleries. And it's in a different world. It's not New Mexico. It's not even the United States. It's its own world. And so I'm building that platform right now. And of course, I have multiple different kids that I truly love, but I'm also working on building this project. Right. And that's just, it's going to open the doors. I fully 100% believe that like it'll open the doors for more people to be connected with people out of this world. I'm not talking aliens, I'm not talking robots, but like with people, with our communities outside of New Mexico. And so that's in the process for sure. It's going to be done. It's going to be done.
So it'll be done 5 years from now. You've got the world's most amazing virtual gallery.
It's going to be done in the next year.
Okay.
So that's a project I'm working on solely.
That is your project.
Myself and another web designer are working on it. We just need to like sit down and do it.
Okay.
And outreach it and focus on it. But I'm excited about that. I still want to travel. I think, being
what countries will you have visited with it in 5 years? What countries are you going to tell me you visited?
I need to go to Mexico. Yeah. It's not very far, but I need to go to Mexico. I need to go to Europe. I need to go to Australia. Like, I just truly need to explore and visit friends and build more friends.
So Australia, Mexico, where in Europe do you want to go? I'm counting. I'm writing these down, and I'm gonna hold you accountable in 5 years. I'm gonna call you up.
Yeah, well, I would like to go to Germany, and also a big plan is Italy. I've been putting in the bucket list for this 2026. I'm going to Italy.
Excellent.
I need to finish some work before I could even buy the ticket, and I most likely will go by myself because currently all my friends either have kids, married, or getting married, or still in work with corporate.
Right.
So we're getting there. We just hopefully we do some solo traveling.
All right. So we got Australia, Mexico, Germany, Italy. One more country.
One more country. Canada.
Canada. So you're going to just the two border countries. Where in Canada do you want to go?
I would really like to go to Toronto. They have a Native Fashion Week out there, and I get all of the advertisements for it. And I've worked a lot with Swaya Native Fashion Week, Amber Dawn's Native Fashion Week, Santa Fe Native Fashion Week, that I see the community here in New Mexico. It's also out there.
Yeah.
It's so close, and it's also a whole bigger world. What's happening in Toronto.
I'm going to put this on your list. I think what
I'm
you
gonna-
need to do
that's
is you need to make sure that all of these trips are paid for, that you're going to do some work there, and you're going to be able to spend like a couple of months on someone else's dime.
On someone,
Australia.
I gotta go out there for work, and then
Yes.
I'll have the trip. Yeah, no, that's a great plan.
So that's fantastic. What will art off the rails look like in 5 years?
Hopefully, by then I have some editors and managers who can manage these departments. And I 100% believe it can happen by mid-August. I mean, it's already in the process of it. And have more writers be a part of the magazine. Have more set designers, more clients who are interested in doing window display artwork or restaurants. And yeah, I mean, more clients. I don't want to I shouldn't have to limit myself for something that there's so many opportunities that it would be amazing to work for or work at. Of course, I got to delegate first the basics of, I just got a bookkeeper. So
Good.
just got a bookkeeper, finally gonna not have to only depend on my dad and myself to do taxes for Art Off the Rails.
Yeah. What's the biggest limiting factor for you guys right now? And how many people do you have on the payroll right now besides you?
Oh.
And not counting the interns because they're temporary.
Right. No, totally. I currently have 3 contractors.
Yeah.
I have a copy editor. Her name's Maddie. I have a layout designer who's Eldrin. And then I have a writer in Raton, and her name's Ani. And they're contractors with Art Off the Rails. And we assign them projects, and then they do it at the end of the day, and they pull through. And so yeah, opening up to more New Mexicans, more, who knows, like what other states.
Years, how many what are the departments? Because I want,
what are the departments?
And Cameron Ward's walking in. Cam Ward is walking into Art Off the Rails. She's the big boss, and who's standing there waiting for their daily marching orders? How many people are there? And what's that morning business meeting look like?
That's gallery curation team.
Yeah.
Doing more galleries frequently. That's event coordinating. So that's whether small businesses want to do a business pop-up or a creative pop-up. You want set design? That could be the department. We get a department to help with set design. And then helping the projects like marketing. Yeah. And that's like the magazine, so where is the marketing team going to go to next, and where are they going to help our clients? And so that's set design, gallery creation, event coordination, and marketing.
Excellent. Well, I love it. I love the vision. Cam, thanks so much for coming on and sharing your story, sharing a little bit. It's really cool to see our local, young, talented, generation coming home and bringing your talents back and using them locally, using them with your community, not only your native community in your pueblo, but also with the Albuquerque community, working with local government, working on projects that are making an impact across different arenas. And you're not just working with artists, you're working with magazine editing, you're working with writers. I think it's got tremendous potential, and I'm so happy that Hannah introduced us, and then we were able to get this interview on the books.
Yeah, and I don't plan on slowing down, but I'm trying. I'm trying to stay grounded too in the mix of it.
Yeah, and that's the big challenge, right? But you're young, you have all the energy in the world, so keep it up. We want to wish you the best, and what do you say we end the show on that note?
Yeah, thank you. I thank you so much, Dan.
Thank you for being on, Cameron. Thank you for your energy and enthusiasm, and thank you for sharing so much and so openly.
Well, I'm excited to see where else I can take the quiz and the test and distribute it however I can. through my work.
Absolutely. Well, we're going to talk off the air. I want to figure out which brewery you're working with. Guys, if you learned anything new, if you enjoyed this interview with young Cam Ward, please don't forget to like, don't forget to subscribe. If you're still here at this point, you might as well subscribe. Help us lead different. Help us find more people who want to lead different. Help us find more young leaders like Cam Ward so we can feature them on the Lead Different podcast and help us continue to make a difference in the lives of leaders everywhere by sharing, commenting, and subscribing. Have a great rest of the day and have a great weekend.
Yes, thank you.
This is Lead Different.
Subscribe now. Discover a new era of leadership. Lead different because great leaders change the world.